Alright, what's up, Dragon Brood? Now, I'm trying something very different here. We're going to be doing some fight rigging, but mostly because I want to feature Vorinclex. This is a card that so many of y'all are really excited about, and it always gets brought up on other deck lists, and I was like, you know what? Let's just play something that features Vorinclex. Let's see how this goes, and can we make it work on the ladder? And I think you're going to be very surprised by this. This is a very weird brew, but yeah. Just strap yourselves in. Vorinclex a mess in the best way possible. If you want to support the channel, remember to check out shop.ultrapro.com/PowrDragn and use promo code PowrDragn. You'll save 5% on everything you order over there at UltraPro, and that includes all the new sweet stuff from their Lemon Yellow collection this month. Alright, as always, don't forget to join the channel. We have some cool rewards. Check out that link down below. Also, those of you that we had our first 2 people use the super thanks on the video. So I want to say thank you to you 2. You know who you are. Hadn't had anybody do that before, so that's super nice, and I really appreciate it. It made me feel good. Okay, love you times over. Now we're going to talk about this deck list. So here's the thing. When you're playing Vorinclex, we do want to have enough things that care about +1/+1s, or actually just counters as a whole, right? Because Vorinclex just says if you put a counter on something. Also remember that Vorinclex does slow down your opponent from getting counters, so you effectively can turn off your opponents like Luminarch Aspirants, even reduce stuff from like Raffine, things like that, their Connive, whatever that would be putting +1/+1 counters on stuff. So that's actually pretty sweet too. So he does have a lot of different uses. Now the trick is, can you set up a board that can do the things you need to do when Vorinclex shows up, or be immediately useful the following turn? The other thing about Vorinclex, though, is it does have haste, and that's actually super strong as well. So, just want to put that all out there before we get to talking about the individual cards here. So, starting at the top, we do have 4 Luminarch Aspirant. Again, the card's just great. No surprise. If you're doing anything that involves creatures, you might as well be playing it. But, in this case, even though we are kind of a mid-rangey-ish deck, we are still putting +1/+1 counters on things, which is great, because it has 2 different uses in this deck. Professor of Symbology, not a surprise here. We get to go to the lesson board, lets us make sure we hit our land drops, gives us extra removal, all that good stuff. Now, we are trying 3 Raffine's Informant, and there's 2 reasons here. One, it does get a +1/+1 counter on it from Connive. It helps us dig a little bit more, so maybe we're trying to find another land, maybe we're looking for, I don't know, a removal card, whatever. It does also put stuff in the graveyard, and that's going to matter for another card here in a little bit. So we're playing 3 Wedding Announcements, and this might actually be wrong. This might be a card we want to have 4 of in the list. I just couldn't find room with the way I was building. If you notice, this list is actually 61 cards, and that's purposeful, because I literally went plus and minus on a bunch of stuff, and then I just decided I wanted everything that was left. So I play 61 cards in this one, and I'm okay with that. Now, if you want to remove something, feel free. Whatever you think is the weakest card, go for it. Fight Rigging. This is another thing. This is doubled up counters from Vorinclex. This is important too, because we're not playing, like a lot of Fight Rigging decks try to take advantage of things that are cheap and already happen to be 5 or 6 power when it comes out. We don't necessarily have that luxury in this build, so we're kind of relying on the Fight Rigging itself, plus Luminarch Aspirant, maybe some counters from the cards themselves or whatever, to give us the opportunity to get the free thing. So we can do it in like 2 turns, which isn't the worst thing if we have the right board set up. So, still going to go with it, because getting free stuff is cool. The other thing, too, that I've noticed is sometimes your opponent will end up using removal just on Fight Rigging, because they are more afraid of the unknown than the known. And sometimes you can use that to your advantage as well. You almost play like a sacrificial Fight Rigging, knowing it's going to go away. And then if it doesn't, you just get a bigger bonus the following turn. So I don't mind that, but we are playing 4 of them. 3 Topiary Stomper, because we are going to be playing a lot of expensive spells, so being able to ramp up the stuff is very important. And this is also a reasonable size body that we can get, right? So this is the quick way we can at least try to set up a Fight Rigging and do something cool. Now, because we are a mid-rangey deck and we do have some recovery options and we have some very slow things, we don't mind playing Doomscar here. So we are going to be playing 4 of these. And there are a lot of situations where early on, we're just going to be using our creatures to block, right? If we just can't get out of the hole, we'll go ahead and block with the 3-power Informant. We'll block with the 3/3 or 4/4 Luminarch Aspirant if we have to, just to buy time to get to the Doomscars and our big stuff later. Speaking of which, now we start getting into the important spells here. So we have Invoke Justice, which can get something out of the graveyard, put it into play. Also, remember, it does say return target permanent, so it actually does matter if you need to say, like, return a land so you can cast your next big thing next turn or something, because that can happen. But the biggest thing is you get to put 4+1/+1 counters on things. And the reason this is big is because if you do have a Vorinclex, or if Vorinclex is the card you're getting out of the yard, this is actually pretty powerful in that it lets you put 8+1/+1 counters on things. That's not to be undersold, especially when you have tramplers and such. Or flyers, in this case, with Sanctuary Warden. And again, how we were talking about it's counters you put on things, not +1/+1 counters. This is actually really big, because you can put multiple counters on here to give it more shields, which is great. But also, it gives you more things that you can remove from your stuff, so you can get more cards and more blockers. So yeah, really like Sanctuary Warden in this list. Of course, Vorinclex, star of the show. We are playing 3. Could we get away with 4? Sure. The issue here, though, it does cost 6, so it's not like we're going to want to draw it early all the time. And it is legendary, so even if we have 2 of them, it's not necessarily great. But I do like the fact that it has haste, because we can surprise tack down some planeswalkers and stuff. Or if we just have things that put +1/+1, sometimes if you have a Vorinclex and say you already have a Fight Rigging and a Aspirin on the field, well, you play that +2/+2. Now you're attacking with the 10/10 haste thing that it's going to reduce your opponent's life total fairly quickly. So I really like where he's positioned in this list. Then we have 4 Ameria's Call. We're just going all in. If we're already trying to play bigger mana, we're ramping up and doing some things. You can also potentially get one for free off of a Fight Rigging, so that's important. But it is another mana source, so I don't really mind it at all in this list. It's just all around quality card for what we're trying to do. Then, of course, Titan of Industry. Because, again, if you're going to go big, let's go all the way big, right? And this is actually huge because being able to get 5 life and being able to have reach and being able to have trample, all very, very good. Especially the trample when we're putting counters on things and trying to double up stuff. And then the lands, nothing too fancy here. We're just going 2 Cave of the Frost Dragon, 7 Plains, 3 Forest, 2 Lair of the Hydra, 4 Branch Off Pathway, and 4 Overgrown Farmland. So yeah, this should be all good. No major issues here. We're just going to play the games as always. And then at the end of the video, we'll talk about things we'll update, because I have no doubt we're going to want to make changes to this list. But we'll talk about changes and what we want to do. Do we want to cut that 61st card? There's going to be a lot of things to answer on the back end. But for now, go watch the games, and I'll catch you on the other side. Okay, this should be a whole lot of fun. Let's see what we can do with this. Oh, man. Let's, I think we're still just going to play Aspirant first here. Can't think of too many reasons why we wouldn't. Though, Rafine's Informant there actually could be pretty good. If we were concerned about stuff dying or whatever. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. And we will go ahead. Alright, so they're going to kill that anyway, so no loss there. Trying to think, like, there's a chance we're going to be able to invoke if we put this in the yard. Because we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this gets us 1. So, yeah, let's do that. I don't know how good this is going to be, but, you know, let's give it a try. Why not? I'm down. We'll go search for a land. We will attack here. I mean, block or don't. We don't mind. Okay. And we'll go and go get a land. Okie dokie. Oh no, I messed up. I needed to get a plains. I forgot I needed 4 white. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. Oh, we got bailed out. How lucky. How lucky. We don't deserve this. Okay, what do we want to do here? I mean, I know what we're doing. I'm just wondering where I want to put these counters, because we get to split them up, which is a pretty big deal. So let's target me. And we'll put 1 here, so that's going to make that into a 5-4. This becomes a 4-3. This would become an 8/8. So I guess we do it like this. And we just get some big attacks in. Opponent can block if they wanna. We don't care. Yep, we will take those blocks. Sounds good to me. Okay. Now they probably sweep the board and then we don't have much left because Doomscar is not going to help us. Oh, showdown. Wait, is that it? Does that mean we just won? No, not quite. Not quite. Let's see what we draw. Let's go with the... Okay, they're giving up anyway. Okay, looks like we're going to keep this one. I think we're just going to go Professor Symbology first, so if they do have removal, we can kind of draw some at those. Maybe get to keep our Aspirant. But hopefully we'll be okay here. This is going to be kind of a weird, slow-moving game, I think, for us. And, well, we may not have time for it to be slow from looks of things. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this into play. Because if they're playing the low to the ground mono white, like, we're not going to really have a chance to take that 3 damage. Not do it and feel good about it, anyway. That is pretty nice. That actually creates a little bit of a problem here. Because... I mean, I guess we go and do this. Because it could still lead to us being able to block something here. You know, gain a couple of life. We don't have to be in a hurry on this Doomscar. So even if I don't foretell it for a turn or two, it's probably fine. Oh, I say that, and look what they just did. So it's like, it was almost fine. Now it's real bad. Now I regret our decisions. Yep. Alright, we're at 10. I mean, opponent did the right thing there. They know what's up. They get to protect something? Nope, they did not protect something. Alright. Redain. Works for us. That just means Invoke is just going to be expensive. That's okay. We can live with that. Ooh, a Fight Rigging. Don't know if that's going to do anything. Let's go ahead and get this off. Get a couple points of life. Go ahead and get another white land. Play it. We will play this to go get a removal card for Redain. Yep. Interesting they didn't play this, but I guess they know we have this. They don't want to invest too much in the creature. Unless they can just protect it anyway, which might be the case. We're about to find out. Actually, I say that. We should probably just play Sanctuary Warden straight up, huh? But if they have a Brutal Cathar, that kind of sucks, doesn't it? What do we want to do? I mean, we can take a couple of points one time. We could also cast... We can't quite cast that. We need another turn. This is a heck of a choice. I'm trying to figure out, like, what's worth it based on what we expect the opponent to have here. In more cases. So let's do this. Let's do this. Play a land. Put counters here. Alright. They didn't flash anything in. I thought maybe they could have had a Wandering Emperor or something there, but that didn't happen. Okay, Portable Hole's going to get rid of probably one of the Aspirants. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, now we are starting to get into the nitty-gritty of things here, but this also changes things. Gosh dang it. We're only at 6. 3, 4. I mean, if we get off this Sanctuary Warden, All right. Here's what we're going to do. And we're just going to... Oh, gosh. We don't even have anything good in our yard, do we? No. All right. So I guess we just take the Invoke anyway? Because that's better than just having a Topiary Stomper, I guess. It's weird, but okay. Put the counter here. Put the counter here. Attack. All right, now are we dead? That's the question. I mean, they exile our Aspirant. We just die, right? Cool. GG's. We're dead. Did the opponent... Wait, you didn't remove the thing that would kill us? Opponent. I don't deserve to be alive here. I really don't. All right, well, here's what it is. Not only that, they could have played this and, yeah, I don't know. They had a couple of ways to kill us. They just kind of chose not to. All right. Well, we will remove a counter. The backup Doomscar, I guess that's fine. Counter here. Also ends up being a counter we can remove to block with, or get a creature and draw a card if we want to later. And for the record, if you attack, I will block. Otherwise, I die. So it's a necessity more than anything. Do we just win now? Oh, no, because they can still block with their land. Okay, let's think about this. What do we have in the yard? We've got Luminarch Aspirant Professor. If we just Vorinclex, we do get to play this, which means then we get back one of these. We get to put a pile of counters on something. All right, let's see how this plays out. Next. Yeah. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, this is a little tough one. I think we're on the draw. All right, I'm going to keep it anyway. Let's just see what happens. I mean, this is a case where maybe, you know, being against a slower-ish deck, this could be beneficial. They could also just have a handful of counters and we don't resolve anything. Which looks like that's the case, unfortunately. All right. Come on, I was going to say, where's that disruption at? We know it's there. You ain't fooling nobody. All right, you got a Fable. Which means we're probably looking at dragons next turn. I guess since we can go ahead and resolve this, we might as well. Or at least attempt to. Oh, looks like they're going to bounce our token so they can scry. Yep. Reasonable. Not sure how we're going to do anything here. Like I said, we kept a very slow hand. I kind of knew where this was headed already, but I feel like we're in a lot of trouble here. Good news is, I guess there wasn't a dragon, but there could also be like a bombardment or something here, which could be bad. It was none of those things, so that's good, I suppose. Yeah, what do we do here? Let's go for it. Go get another... We have 4 white already. Let's just get another forest, and that'll give us our 3 green, not have to worry about it later. Okay, big source. So this is likely a bombardment situation. All right. Well, the downside being we didn't put enough pressure on the opponent, so they're going to kind of get to do whatever they want here. All right, they are attacking still. I mean, piling up the treasure. No blocks. Not blocking just because it's more beneficial to have more 2/2s next turn than just block and lose a 1/1 here. Doesn't really do much for us. Okay. This gives us some opportunity for a few things. Let's try Fight Rigging. Assuming this one's going to get countered, and then we'll try to sneak the other one down. That is not what I expected to happen. Alright, let's take this. That wasn't one of our big hitters we were hoping to get on a Fight Rigging. That kind of sucked. Let's do this. Nothing as well. Ooh, that's a tough choice. That is a tough choice. Do we take... I guess we got to take Vorinclex, though, right? Because we might just need a hasty hitter to try to get us where we're headed. So... let's go counter. Counter. I'm sure they're going to bounce the Topiary Stomper, but that's fine. Or shoot it. Nope, they're just digging at the moment. I mean, I'm assuming they're just getting to where they're going to Bombardment and start going ham on us, but this is one of the reasons we did want the Vorinclex down there. Okay, that's actually not bad for us, all things considered. I mean, if they're down to one card, I mean, you need Bombardment and a spell to be able to be threatening. So if they don't have that, this is actually really good for us. All right, they're big score. They're looking. Another big score, replacing their mana. Iteration. All right. I mean, y'all, we might be able to do this depending on what we draw off the top here. This was not what I thought was going to happen, but here we are. Okay. Not the card we were looking for, unfortunately. Opponent's down to one card. What is it? All right, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could play this, give our things indestructible, get both of these back, get something to get rid of a Bombardment, just in case that's a threat, and attack for 6. Yeah, I think that's what we do. I'm about that. Let's do it. Yep. We'll target an angel, I guess, for later. In case they do something to our Topiary Stomper here. They are not. Great. Also good that if they have burned down the house, we have things that can survive that, which is good. I am just going to take a Containment Breach, I believe. Wait, did we not? Oh, because it's that particular counter we punted. I thought if we just controlled a creature that had that. It's... oh, no. I goofed up. I thought it was just if you controlled a creature, is that if that creature... no, it says if you control a creature with power 7 or greater. Oh, I guess because of the way they got stacked or something? I wasn't paying attention. Oh, well. Things we learn. All right, so they're going to be able to copy a dude. They will have some blockers, but we've got angels in the air. So, yeah. Let's activate this. My opponent's down to one card. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what they were planning on doing here. I know this would be a bad keep, so we got a mulligan. I sort of wanted to gamble, though. I'm not going to lie. But this we are going to keep, and we are going to get rid of probably Titan here. Just doesn't quite get us there, unfortunately. A Witness. Okay. I mean, I wonder if we just Rafine's Informant here? Like, do we care? Well, that's just going to kill it anyway. Alright, let's do this first. Yeah, being on the draw, I don't think we can do anything. I think this one's just going to be a loss. This feels real rough. I mean, because the best thing we can do is Topiary Stomper, which I'm assuming is probably going to die. But that does put us... Oh, are they digging for lands here? Because they didn't even sacrifice their witness or anything. That's really peculiar. Okay. For sure? I was going to say, all right, their draw can't be that bad, right? That was about to be very strange. Okay. So if we Topiary Stomper here, we're not going to Topiary Stomper here, right? That just doesn't make enough sense. All right. Let's attack. And then we'll give them something to play removal on with our Rafine's Informant. I'm not even sure what we'd want to put into the yard. Because right now, I think our plan is just play Professor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That basically is 7. But we don't really have a need for 7 right now, but we do have a need for 6. So next plan is going to be Professor, Search. Yeah, all right. This can go. I guess technically we have a need for 7 to make Topiary Stomper be able to attack or block, but we'll see what happens. We have time. If we can get to 6, we at least have something we could do with the Sanctuary Warden. Oh no, that thing double strikes. That sucks. All right. Okay. I think we're just going to stick to the plan here. Probably go get this. I think that's what we want. Well, let's go ahead and just play this. Go get this. And no attacks. We are not the beatdown here. Not even sure what I really want to draw this turn. Like, do we want maybe something to go along with the Topiary Stomper? I mean, right now the opponent could just meat hook for 1 and be in a real good spot here, which would not be unreal for them to do. Gonna Shambling Gas. Huh. This feels very strange that we're still at 20 here. I don't know kind of what's happening, and it feels very strange. I'll just try to block, I guess. Yeah, okay. I mean, like, if that's the worst thing that happens, I guess. It's fine, I suppose. Yeah. Yep, replay one of those. Oh, you get to replay. Oh, okay. All right, I see what we're doing. Let's... We did get something we could use. All right. Topiary Stomper. Go get Plains. Play this. I was going to say, we're likely not getting rid of anything in our hand. So probably just that. Nothing great in our yard. We just, no attacks. So yeah, just not a great setup here. Now the good news is we play a land. Topiary Stomper is live. We get to play Sanctuary Warden. That's a thing. Oh, opponent bricked 4 lands. Though, you know, sometimes if you draw 4 lands, it's actually good to get those out of the way. So not like the worst thing for them, really. And remember, whenever they play spells with their Extus, they get to get things back. So that's a thing. We're just going to take 5 here. And hope that doesn't come back to bite us in the butt next turn. You are real nice. Man, almost the right card, because that would have been pretty slick to play. This comes into play and get an extra shield counter. But for now, we're just going to do this, and we're going to decline and leave that shield counter on there. And I think this lets you get 2 things. Till your next turn, you may play one of those cards. Do we let them have the cards? I say no, not yet. I mean, they're going to get to do a bunch of stuff here anyway and pump their things. We probably just need all the blockers we can have. Plus, we're in a bad spot because if they put the counters on the Fireblade Charger, once we block, they do get to hit us with it, and that kind of sucks. Still potentially winnable, but going to be very tough. This is looking very, very slim. Yeah, not sure. I think the opponent's got this. It's just a matter of which way this goes. Because they have a ton of mana. They've got access to 4 unknown cards. Whenever they cast something, they're going to get to put bonuses on things. I mean, the good news is we do have Topiary Stomper. So that's something. And we do have a Sanctuary Warden that can survive at least a couple of hits. Yep, that's relevant. Now, the sad part is because Exis double strikes, it actually is a bit of a problem because it would break both shields on the Sanctuary Warden. Oh, no, this is something. Okay. That's legit. So is our plan next turn to remove Extus? Yeah, I'm not really sure here. This did not go the way I expected. This got very weird very quickly. All right, we're only at 6. So if we exile Extus, we're actually giving them a creature they can attack. Ugh. Sanctuary Warden gives us something we can block with, get a card. But then they now have this, that would let them get rid of a Sanctuary Warden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have enough. Yeah. Boy, this is a rough one. All right. Guess this is what we got to do. Don't love it, but, you know, tough times. Man, you know what we really needed to draw there? We needed to draw a Titan of Industry. That would have been the thing. Because then we could have gained some life, we could have put a shield up, or we could have just, like, got rid of Meat Hook. Like, that would have been real nice. Oh, an Ob. Yeah, that's real bad. That's real bad. Yep. That's gonna do it.
After 1,000 years.
Yep. GG's. We can't do much there. We get to go first. What are we gonna do with this? We keep it. We're definitely gonna keep it. I think we're gonna put this into play. I think next turn we play Lair into... I was going to say Rafine's Informant, but maybe not. Maybe it's just a Lair into Professor. And we'll go get this to be set up for later. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. Tenacious Underdog. All right, sounds good. Let's go ahead and put this in... Actually, you know what? Let's not. Let's go ahead and take advantage of this. And I think I'm willing to attack. If they want to trade, fine. All right. Okay, Luminarch Aspirant. That works. We are still chump blocking here because they do not look to be removing our counter or token, which is nice. Double Rafine's Informants. Do we care about that? Do we just want to get a fight rigging set up? I think we can wait one more turn on that, right? Hold on. If we were Fiend's Informant here, put this in tapped. Nah, that's just bad use of our mana. Let's go ahead. We will try to get... Wow, these are all good. I think I'm going to go with this, though. And just see what the opponent wants to do. Looks like nothing. All right. We can Rafine's Informant into an Informant, or we can Informant to go get land. Or Informant and go get land. But now I think the opponent's at a point where they're deciding, do they want to kill our creatures? Yeah, exactly. You got to do something here. Yep. Where would you like to put your counters? Sounds good. We'll block there. Another land. This doesn't do a whole lot for us. Actually, that being said, I probably should have just played a Mariner's Call tapped there. But it's whatever. Ooh, now that changes things a little bit. Alrighty then. Wow, what do we get rid of here? I guess it has to be the other Informant. Or actually, we could just play another Informant as a blocker this turn and just get rid of this. But we need the mana either way. Opponent likely has a counter here too. That's the other thing that's tough. So unless we can create a situation where they need to lose their blue mana, we're going to be in a little bit of a spot. Trying to figure out what the best plan is here. And taking 3 is going to be a little tough, but we would get a blocker and possibly a token. I'm going to get rid of this and gamble. And then we're just going to play this. Oh, gosh. All right, well, I feel like we gotta. No attacks. Okay. So we can at least do something. I mean, I guess maybe I should have attacked there knowing we were going to get +1/+1s at the end of the turn. But this at least gives us reasonable blocks, puts the opponent in a little bit of a spot, because even if they put counters on the Luminarch Aspirant, we can force them to kind of put their connive triggers somewhere. All right, we're getting rid of the fight rigging. That seems fine. We're not overly upset about that. Sure, where would you like to place those, opponent? Interesting, they didn't put them on Rafine. So, for now... Now, admittedly, they could still have Vanishing Verse or another one of these things. Well, this just destroys. So, Vanishing Verse is more what we're concerned about here. Alright, they're deciding what to discard still. Okay. Let's block here. Actually, we don't even have to block there, actually. We could block here, and we can block here. Which is good, because this lets us remove counter from our Professor of Symbology if we want. Oh, now that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Okay. Let's attack for 5. I mean, who knows? Maybe they still have, like... would you think they'd be savvy enough to actually have held on to Gerard's Disruption? It's quite possible, but, you know, risk it for the biscuit. They didn't have it. All right, fantastic. Let's remove 1 counter from here. Okay. Please don't have an exile thing. Please don't have an exile thing. Because that would make us very, very sad. If you attack, we're blocking. That's a given. Oh, boy. Okay. Now we get to play the game of what do we do if the opponent actually has Wandering Emperor? We play Vorinclex. We attack. Opponent exiles Sanctuary Warden. Blocks 4. Takes 8. Goes back to... They'll be at 2, but they gain 2 from the Sanctuary Warden. I mean, not from the Wandering Emperor. So is that like the best case scenario? And then we fight rigging. We don't necessarily get anything because if they have something to deal with the Sanctuary Warden. All right, let's do this. We're in it. I mean, there's nothing else we're going to do. Okay, cool. We got there. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. You know what? I'm going to keep this, though. Let's rock and roll with this. Let's see what we can do. I mean, this is a pretty bad hand to keep. I would not recommend anyone do it. But, you know, this is why I tell people, sometimes making content, we got to experiment and risk it for the biscuit. Or else it's just not worth the entertainment value. So we do the mess so you don't have to. And you get to see what it would be like to keep these bad hands. And can we overcome our opponents? Alright, well, I'm going to assume this Rafine's Informant is going to die a horrible death, but that's okay. Oh, it's not going to die a horrible death. Well, then that's something. We definitely want to put Vorinclex in the yard. Alright, so now we've got the 5 land we need, so it's just how fast can we get there? Yeah, I was going to say, opponents got to start dealing with their stuff. Either that, they're going to set up to meat hook for 2. Oh, they had double removal here. So good for them. Alright. Not bad. I was hoping to draw something relevant to force the opponent into an action here, so that's good. I'm assuming this is going to be binding. Yep. Alright, so that does mean... Do we Titan first? Alright, let's do that. I'm going to Titan. And I'm going to actually choose... I think I'm going to let them keep their thing, and I'm just going to put a shield counter on this. Because, I mean, if the opponent doesn't do any... I mean, this actually has trample, so if we get the Vorinclex out with this Invoke next turn, like, that's lethal. And then some. Now, they can still have instant speed removal for Vorinclex, and if they do, they do, right? We can't do anything about that. But we then get them low enough that... Okay, yeah, that's it. Now we're good. Yep, opponent's just dead. Awesome. We'll take it. Boom. Big times. Big time. Do all the damages. Look at that. This feels like it'd be a bit of a gamble with no green mana, but you know what? Let's keep it. I mean, if we're not playing against a creature deck and holding on the Doomscar, this is going to be really silly, but yeah, and that's not a good start from the opponent for us. Kind of tells us what we're up against here. Not a good thing. So yeah, we're probably in a bit of trouble, I'd imagine. But we're still going to try to fight our way through it. We'll grab this, because we do need to go find green at some point. They did not want to kill our Professor of Symbology. They might just play a Rafine here, to be honest. I wouldn't blame them. Nope, no Rafine, even. Alright, we'll attack. You know what? Because we need to resolve this for green, I'm going to play a land first in case they actually had something like Jiraiya's Disruption or whatever. Like, it sounds a little silly, but you never know. If we already had other green in hand, I wouldn't have cared as much. I'd let them waste a counter on it, but couldn't afford to there, I don't think. Okay, there's Teferi. That's a thing. This is a little peculiar, right? Because they're incentivized to kill the fight rigging, which would then leave Fairy at least somewhat vulnerable. Maybe. Wow. Wow, we didn't hit any of our big uns there. That kind of sucks. Well, I guess on the plus side, we're not going to be upset when that fight rigging goes away. Because I have no doubt it is not going to survive this turn cycle. If it does, I'm going to be very surprised. And we've had about as slow as hand as this deck can have here. Maybe the second slowest type of hand. Okay. Which, you know, that's the other thing. Let us keep a fight rigging with nothing on board. That makes sense. Now, the fun part is we can get this back. We can get this back. It's going to come into play. It'll get us a land. However, it doesn't really solve anything. Because the opponent's very likely to have a counter here. And I don't think we want to do that yet. So let's do this first. As much as Invoke Justice would be a lot of fun, with them having that much mana open, I just feel like nothing good can come of that. Alright, if we put a Topiary Stomper in... we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're still a bit away from doing anything with that. Have a feeling this is just not going to be great here in this matchup. So let's just do that. I mean, I hate it. But it's whatever. Like, what are we going to do here, you know? Maybe I should have played a land first there. Nope. Alright. Guess it didn't matter. I mean, they're going to kill this anyway, right? We're just going to try to make it hard on them. Also, if we draw an untapped land, we could also just Vorinclex, get a... It has been untapped green land, obviously. Get a Topiary Stomper, get to do some things. So it's not like the worst thing. Teferi decided they want to do Teferi things here. Okay. So now we know they have something here we're not going to want to see, unfortunately. Which is probably a Wandering Emperor. So if we believe that, how do you want to go about this? We will do this. Okay, we have to go search for a land. I'm kind of waiting for whatever sweeper they have. But I feel if they had a Doomscar, they would have juiced that up a while ago. Alright, that's totally fine. Like, if that happens, we're good risking that. That is A-okay. Alright, so now the question is, do they have two things? I guess we have to send them both into Teferi, because if they have some type of weird kill spell or blocker or whatever, that would just be bad for us. Alright, that's fine. We can live with that.
I suppose that's how.
Okay, now I feel pretty good because we at least set things up reasonably here. If they had a sweeper, we'd have been able to do some things.
Eternal question. Win the quick way or the fun way?
Now this feels pretty solid. I mean, we've got a lot of damage on board. We've got plenty of mana here. 1, 2, 3. I mean, though, here's the reality. There's a good chance they just have negates and stuff here, actually, right? Because they haven't cast anything else. So, I mean, they could have spot removal, I guess. But do we just activate this and attack? I don't think so. I think we try to do this. And just say, hey, you got negate, you got negate. Because we're going to use these later. Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, we're not too worried about it. We can just send one here. Put the opponent down to 11. And just say, okay, now you got to find something.
We'll meet again.
I mean, they could have just a Foretoll or whatever that thing. Farewell, right? Get rid of everything. Nope, it's a Sorin.
Violence is necessary. To set things
Okay.
will serve me well.
So you got a Sorin. Alright, I guess we just do it. I'm just going to assume there's just negates and such in hand. I'm going to send this at the opponent. I'm going to send this at the opponent. I'm going to send these two over here, I think. And if they just have a removal spell, they have a removal spell. And Sorin gets to live. They do not, it looks like. Oh, just Iganjos. Fair enough. Whatever. That is fine.
Darkness, I return.
Okay, they're down to one card. I'm feeling pretty good here. Because again, even if they fare well, we just use Invoke Justice, get back a Vorinclex, and call it good. Actually, no, they'd be exiled. They get rid of everything. Oh, we still have a creature land, though. Well, dang, y'all. I kind of want to just say that, like, this deck did everything we wanted it to do and more. It was actually pretty exciting. Those were some fun games. And what I liked about it is we had so many big plays, right? Even against some of the big decks, we were able to play the long game and come back. And then we had several games where we just did the big thing on like turn 5 or turn 6, and that was it, and game was over. So I really kind of like what's going on here. Now, I will say, Rafine's Informant was not as strong as I wanted it to be, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was fine. But I would not feel bad cutting one of those if we wanted to have a 60 card deck, or replacing that with maybe a Fateful Absence, so we have like one more kind of in between removal card to buy us a little bit of time, or to get rid of a Planeswalker. That would be pretty good as well. So I would kind of be okay with that move. And then on the lands, I noticed I just left off for some reason like an Iganjo and a Boseiju, so I'll be adding those to the final list as well. But yeah, outside of that, I don't think there's too much to change. I would just say when you're playing it, be sure to try to plan out your turns and be patient, right? There's a lot of opportunities to go for the big thing you want, even against the decks that are full of counters and stuff. So don't be in too much of a rush. You'll be surprised how easy it is to actually still get to do the things you want to do with this. Now for today's card spotlight, we're going to talk about Seachorn Ceratops, mostly because this card was annoying as hell. Not in like playing against it kind of way, just like one of those rares that you open and you're like, why? Why does this exist? What does it do? Like, it's so small, and then if it gets dealt damage, it gets counters. So you kind of have to hit it for one, or you have to find a way to pump it up before you deal damage to it. And it was just like a bad rare to have. Like, it was fine as a 2-mana 2/2, but rarely did it get the counters and survive unless you just did a lot of work. And that's kind of disappointing, right? If we get rares you want to play, or mythics for that matter, but this is just a rare, like, you kind of want it to just be something that does what it does, right? If it was a 2/3 or even a 1/3 or an 0/3, like, that would have all made more sense than having it be a 2/2. But yeah, it was kind of just sad. And I played the dinosaur decks whenever Ixalan was legal and just like did not even enjoy this card a little bit. I think I tried it once or twice and it was just way too much work. So sometimes just because a card's rare doesn't necessarily mean it's great or playable, even within a certain theme. And sadly, I think maybe sometimes this stuff just gets over-engineered because, you know, maybe internally something happens with the playtesting and R&D, but who knows. Anyway, yeah, just kind of wanted to talk about this card because it came up and had to do with counters, and we were playing a counters deck today. Don't forget, if you want today's deck list, it'll be down in the description below. Also, you can come join the channel and get some cool benefits, so check that out. You can come join our Discord as well if you want to talk about this or other brews you're working on. We'd love to help you out with that. And you can come join our streams to be part of all this good stuff. But if you like this kind of crazy deck with big creatures, I'm going to go ahead and link another one here because you'll probably like that one too. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.